All right, you guys wanted to come on here and give you guys my plays for this weekend. So we have Kansas City versus Baltimore, and then we have the 49ers versus the Lions. So obviously, two really big games. These teams are going to want to be competing at the highest level and yeah, be coming to play. So we got two games. I'm gonna have four picks in total, two on Prize Picks and two on Underdog. And yeah, these are all gonna be correlated entries. So if you're new here, we do correlated picks for NFL, for NHL, and just recently I've been starting to get into esports. But yeah, pretty much correlation is going to be the thing that's going to long term make you profitable in these different apps such as PrizePicks and Underdog. So first and foremost, let's get into this play here. A lot of PrizePicks entries have been limited recently, or not limited. They've been payout shifted recently. So if you're trying to do correlation, a lot of them have been payout shifted. Pretty much what that means is normally for a 6 out of 6 entry like this, it's going to be a 25x, but they've been payout shifting it down to like a 17x or a 19x. And if you do like a 17 or 19x with this, you're not going to be profitable. So, yeah, I mean, anyone, if you follow plays or you follow some guy on Twitter or some YouTube channel and they're giving out plays that are like super payout shifted, I don't know, don't listen to them. They're not giving you the truth. So you need to either have 24x or 25x. And all the plays I'm going to give today are going to be 25x for 6 out of 6s, and then for underdog you can't do 6 out of 6, only 5 out of 5. So yeah. Anyway, this is a 25x. We got Lamar, we got Patrick Mahomes. So we got Baltimore and we got Kansas City, and then we have two receivers on Kansas City, and then we got two receivers on Baltimore. So for Kansas City, we got Justin Watson and McCole Hardman, and then for Baltimore, we got Aguilar and Odell. And pretty much how this works, how this is correlated, is you can see that we have Lamar over pass completions, and then we have Mahomes over pass touchdowns. So pretty much the more that Lamar throws and the more that Patrick Mahomes throws, the more likely that they're going to hit their targets or their their lines here. So if Lamar throws a lot, if Patrick Mahomes throws a lot, then it's more likely that these guys are going to get catches. So if Lamar has over 19.5 pass completions, let's just say he got like 23 or something like that, then it's likely that Aguilar and Odell are also going to have hit over this receiving yards target because the more passes that Lamar throws, the more likely that these guys get catches and that these guys get yards. Same thing with Mahomes. The more he's throwing, the more pass yards he's going to get, and then the more likely that Justin Watson and McCole Hardman are going to get over these. So these are relatively like low lines, right? Like we're not doing like Kelsey or Rice on this play. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But yeah, these are relatively low lines for these receivers just because they're not the top receivers on these teams. But pretty much we want it to be a close game. We want it to be a lot of throwing, a lot of pretty much no opportunity where one team could just run the ball out and just run the clock out and just be done with it. So a longer game would be good, and a lot of passing would be good with this. So yeah, this is the first play for the day for Prize Picks, and we can go ahead and go into the next game. So this is 49ers versus Detroit. You can see that we have a lot more or a little more of higher end names, higher end receivers in this game. But we have Purdy, Goff, and then we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Reynolds and Reynolds on the Lions, and then we have Ayuk and Kittle on the 49ers. So same thing. The more that Purdy throws, the more completions he can get, the better, because that's going to give Ayuk and Kittle more of a chance to get receiving yards. Same thing with Goff. The more he's throwing, the more likely he's going to get passing touchdowns, and the more he's throwing, the more likely he's going to go and give yards to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Josh Reynolds. Um, you could also think of this just as an example. Let's say if Goff ends up throwing like a 50-yard touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown, that's going to give Goff a whole touchdown, and it's going to give Amon-Ra St. Brown more than half of his total that he needs to hit. So just in like one play, you can see that we would have um, two of these players could potentially go over more than half of what their lines are. So if that happened like in the first quarter, that would be really, really good for us. And then also if that happened, that'd probably cause San Francisco to be like, wow, okay, they just hit a 50-yard, pass touchdown on us. We need to start throwing and start keeping up with them and scoring. So that's kind of how it's all tied together, right? You want to find plays that are all tied together. So if like one thing happens, then multiple of these things are going to start falling into place like dominoes. So yeah, this is the second Prize Picks play. We'll move into Underdog Fantasy. If you don't have PrizePicks, I'm gonna put a link in the comment where pin comment where you can get $100 match on your money with PrizePicks. Same thing with Underdog, you can do the same. And yeah, we got another one for the 49ers versus Detroit game. Again, we got Goff over pass yards. We got Reynolds. We got Amon-Ra. We're throwing in Sam Laporta here instead. And then we also have Brock Purdy with pass yards. What I like to do on Underdog is I like to do, because you can only do 5-man plays, so you can only do 5 out of 5s on Underdog. They have no 6 out of 6s. Because of that, I like to do 4 players on the same team for Underdog. So think about that. If you have 4 players on the same team, so the Lions, right? You have 4 players on the Lions. If the Lions offense pops off and they do really good this versus the 49ers, then if Jared Goff has a really good day passing and all that, there's 4 players on the Lions that are all going to do well. So all we really need is Jared Goff and the Lions offense to do really well. And then if that happens, it's going to be likely that guys like Laporta, guys like Amon-Ra, guys like Josh Reynolds are also going to do really well. And if the Lions offense is doing well, then you better hope that Brock Purdy, if he wants to keep his team in the game, he's also going to have to do good and throw a lot. So here's the play for Underdog. It's a 5-man slip. And then, yeah, let's jump into the last play of the day. So this is back to that Kansas City-Baltimore game. Same thing here. You can see we got 4 players on Kansas City. And we got Mahomes going over pass touchdowns. We got Scantling over targets. We got Watson over receiving yards. And then we have Rashee Rice over targets. So, yeah, we're throwing Rashee Rice in here. That's good to see, getting a little bit of a variety. And then we have Lamar over pass yards. So same exact thing, same exact thing. Like if Detroit in that other play is, if they do well offensively, if Mahomes and if Kansas City does well offensively, and he's throwing a lot of touchdowns, then a lot of these lines should be able to hit or have a high likelihood to hit. And then Lamar's going to have to keep his team in the game and give passing yards. So, yeah, that's how it's correlated. I hope that makes sense to you guys, how all of these NFL plays are correlated. Stay tuned. I'm going to be trying to drop alternate lines. I know we didn't like really get like Kelsey in there. We didn't get like Zay Flowers really in there. So I'm going to try to keep dropping alternate lines because we do only have 2 NFL games this weekend. But yeah, if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be dropping plays all week. So thank you guys for watching.